Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good times, whatever time it is, and wherever you are listening. Joined with me, as always, Mr. Chris Keats.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Hello. Somebody turn off the background noise.
Who's that? That's
How am I
Jake.
supposed to know what a podcast is?
who was it? Who did that? Come on, own up. Do it.
That'd be Jake.
Not
That was
bad.
Texas size balls up, that was.
Back of the class.
Hey, you mess up big.
Back
You
of
start
the
it.
class.
Start again. We have to start again.
Yep.
No, we'll just leave that for you to edit out. As always, Mr. Chris Keats,
Hello.
Mr. Jamie Page.
How you doing?
I have a funny feeling, Jamie, it's not going to be you that ruins tonight's show, which brings us neatly on to our two guests. I'm not sure who it's going to be. I'm going to blame Jake already from the start. So, Jake, how you getting on, buddy?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Good. I take it your iPad's on mute now. You've turned the volume down.
Yes,
Pause
it
it.
is.
We're all good to
It's
go.
all the way.
Excellent. And also, Jae Rivera. I think you're New York area, aren't you? If that's right.
Can't hear you, Jay.
I said, yeah.
Okay.
You did that time. Excellent. You're so far away from the camera, we can barely see you in the image. So you have to see if we can work. That's better. Actually, no, that's not better. No, but as it was. Thank you. So tonight we're talking about what is it? No, Jamie, no, don't do that.
No.
Nobody wants to. Not even the listeners want to even put the easel away. Tonight, are we talking about, what was it again, Chris? Turning hobbies into a business, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah. Apparently, some of us have thought about this and prepared for it, and obviously Richard has not, because he doesn't even know what we're talking about tonight. But okay.
Yeah, never. So, Jay, you did, I believe, turn your hobby into a business, and I think, Jake, are we allowed to say it? Is it not still like a top secret, snurgly secret thing at the moment?
It's no secret. It's no secret anymore.
Everybody knows.
Mm.
What do they know?
They know that in May, I'm probably not going back to work anymore.
Does your boss know?
For somebody else, is what
yeah.
you're saying.
They know there's people that'll hate on you or whatever, but the people that really care about you they want to see you do better and excel. So they're excited for me.
And that, I think, we'll probably touch on this in a bit more depth, that kind of side of it, when you're co-workers and leaving jobs and moving on and all the rest of it. But yeah, I think having done that myself, left a full-time salaried position to go off and do my own thing for me, I can 100% attest to that sort of reaction from people. I'm assuming, because like Chris, you're retired now, so presumably they just had a big old party and forgot about you on the Monday morning.
Actually, no, they didn't. But I'm not into storytelling tonight. Being with that, we can save that for the spotlight show that you do on me. Never.
How did they know that you left, Chris? Did they heard it on the radio? Whoa!
No, they heard it. They heard it through the grapevine, Jamie. Go back a few more years. Little Korean sclerotic revival will wake you right the hell up.
Just imagine this school kid, like work experience kid from like a high school, just going, "Where's Chris?" Like, lights are off. Everyone's going.
All right. Focus, you scum. we have a lot to cover tonight, because this is a serious topic for a lot of people. I mean, because there are a lot of people out there that are seriously considering turning their hobbies someday, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next week, but someday they're going to they would like to say goodbye to the man back at the 9 to 5 and go to work for the man sitting in the chair they're currently sitting in. And that it could be a woman too. Ladies, forgive me. And so we have a lot of ground to cover. So Richard, if you don't mind, do we want to mention our sponsors now and get that out of the way and then hop into some questions?
We can. Yeah, let's do it now. I mean, whenever. I was actually going to leave it until towards the end. But as always, tonight's show is brought to you in part by Yorkshire Grit, the Woodturners Abrasive Paste, our good friend Chad at Mancrafting, Pam from Highland Boxes, and also Steve Neelan from Harneal Media. If you want to find out more about the sponsors, then head on over to the website, makeinternationalpodcast.com/sponsors. Please, like I said before, please, I'm begging you, go and visit the website. We need like the stuff that apparently matters when people visit websites. So that would be good.
That would be called clicks. We have none. Anyway, we've got a lot of questions. Let me tackle the questions first, and then we can get into the meat of the topic. And these questions will probably lead us into a lot of that anyway.
I've seen the questions. There are some corkers actually this week from people.
No, there are, and we can get into depth with some of these questions. So thank you guys for asking. The first one up on tap, as always, is our executive inquisitor, Mr. Andy Pugh. And frankly, Jay, I think most of these are going to be targeted towards you. And I know, Richard, you share similar experiences to Jay, so obviously chime in where you feel fit. I will allow you to. Yeah, I will allow you to do that. Yeah. So Jay, let me ask you a question here, buddy. It's from Andy. He wants to know how long did you enjoy just woodworking before you decided to make it a business?
I'm gonna say I was in my uncle's shop about 7, 8, tootling around. So he was trying to keep me off the streets.
Mm-hmm.
And then the streets definitely took a hold of him.
Gotcha. But you were involved for a while prior.
Yeah, I was involved, and yeah, that's pretty much my safe answer. I was involved for a while, and then I went away for a while, and then I came back, and I don't like working for people. So
you and Richard get along great. Neither one of you are people. Anyway,
serious question that actually is relevant. Apologies, Chris.
Go.
Jay, genuine question, because I've always wondered this myself. Do you think you are now basically unemployable apart from working for yourself? Because I genuinely think I would find it hard going to a job and being I don't mean that from a being told what to do point of view, just that whole having a boss and the regular hours and the commute and the traffic and the chair and all the rest of it. Do you find that, or do you think you could cope?
No, I think a little differently. My answer to that question is actually very easy. I don't consider myself unemployable because the way I think about it is I'm employed by each one of my customers.
Yeah, 100%. But what I mean is, do you think if you went to, so I don't know, let's say your company got bought by another company and you worked regular hours for another company?
I get what you're saying. But if you think about it like how I just said it, instead of thinking about like you're your own boss and you make the rules and everything, which you do, but at the end of the day, you don't. So each person that buys a product off you, each person that, tells you customizations or whatever the case may be, or whatever the product is you're selling, you have to remember that you're selling yourself. You're selling your products, you're selling your time, you're selling this. Somebody has to buy it. At the same time, when you punch in a 9 to 5, you're selling yourself, you're selling your time
to your employer. So it's kind of an easy segue, but you're working for it's a different structure, but the mentality is already still there, right?
The mentality is still, yes, you're the boss, but you're really, really not, and that's a way to gut check yourself so you don't get high and mighty on yourself. But if you're talking, which I know what you mean, like actually just punching in a clock, I could do that because I consider myself I'm a huge hustler, coming from the streets and coming from the Bronx, New York. I'm about hustling. So I hustle every day as hard as I can with everything I do. So if my, God forbid, I was to close down shop and I had to punch a time clock, then that's going to be my new hustle. And I'm going to max it out completely until they go bankrupt.
Gotcha.
And just go to the next one and go to the next one and go to the next one until I no longer have to work. That's my short end of the stick answer. I am employable because at the end of the day, people keep me employed.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to punch a time clock because I was working for somebody else's company, then I would do whatever I have to do because at the end of the day, that's what.
Don't we all? We all end up doing what we have to do. Next question. Should someone, and this is coming from people that are thinking about it, maybe not seriously, maybe seriously, who knows? Would you suggest that somebody jump in with both feet and give it and give up their day job like tomorrow? Or is it something that they would be better to ease themselves into slowly by going perhaps part-time first and seeing what kind of market is out there?
I say this, you're basically half-assing it, just even giving it that, that idea, then it may not be for you. If you're not going to be the all in or nothing guy, then you might as well not do it. because at the end of the day, you can make some money, doing stuff part-time, but you're not going to be successful to yourself. You're not going to be successful to to the people that matter. You have to, if you're going to own your own company, then you go all the way in. But you also have to remember, you have 24 hours in a day. You only punch that clock for 8 to 9 hours maximum a day, unless you do overtime, whatever the case may be. Standard, 9 to 5, whatever the hours is, 8 hours. There's 24 hours in a day. So you're telling me that you have 16 hours left of that day. What are you doing with it? So you can technically punch a clock, travel, go home, whatever the case may be, spend time with family, spend time, do whatever the hell it is, still have a hobby. But at the end of the day, you still have 16 hours. How many of us is on a phone bullshitting for this amount of time?
Mm-hmm.
So we have to be honest with ourselves. If you're going to, if you're going to start a business and your mentality is like, well, I have to give this up to get this, that may not be the fact. That may not be the truth. But if it is the truth, if you truly believe in yourself, then don't half-ass yourself. Truly believe in yourself. Jump in, forget both feet, go head first. But make sure that you've done your research.
I don't think that's necessarily just the case for getting a job either. I think that could be for quite literally everything.
Everything on this. If you're half-assing it, you might as well just stop doing it right now.
Yeah. All right. Next question, and any regrets, Jay, when or Richard, when it comes to doing what you're doing now? I mean, coming from this perspective, did it spoil your enjoyment of woodworking? Because I know you both are woodworkers. So, did making it a business spoil your enjoyment of woodworking? I mean, did it turn you off of your hobby, or is it just now more lucrative? I mean, how do you look at that when somebody asks you that question? Because you're looking at a lot of hobbyists who really enjoy hobbying,
That's
but
easy.
when they jump in to do the business, they turn out the hobby is work now, and it's maybe not so much fun.
That's easy.
Go
Separate it.
separate it.
I'm at a table saw, when I'm at my chop saw, when I'm at, when I'm grabbing a piece of walnut 2x4, when I'm grabbing freaking, a birch, it doesn't matter what the hell it is. I'm in the zone. I'm there. I'm doing what I got to do. But like I said, I'm 0 to 100. I'm maxed out at all times with what I'm doing. If I have to do the taxes and stuff like that, then I'm in that. So I'm trying to get this crap done as fast as I could. That way I can still go and produce something that is my woodworking, which is my enjoyment. So if you're concentrating and you're not separating things and you're just a big mess of stuff, then you're never going to enjoy it, because now let's just say you're making a table, you're making a cutting board, you're making a chair, whatever the hell it is you're doing, you're turning something. Your mind is not 100% on there, so how could you enjoy it? Nothing has changed if you really think about it. Nothing has changed when you own a business. The only thing that has changed is you added stuff into your time slot. That's it. So you're still doing what you're doing, but if you do not separate that and do your taxes, do your things, do that stuff separately, then it's going to be a mush and your brain's going to be basically pudding.
All right, then we can skip
Not
over.
only that, but you could potentially injure yourself as well, because your mind's not 100% focused.
Of course.
Yeah. Well, then we can skip the next question. The next question was, did you pick up any new hobbies to replace it? The answer is no. Why do I need to? Anyway,
Yes.
Go ahead, Richard. I'm sorry.
No, I was just thinking. I agree with Jay from the side of, it's doing what you're doing. You need to separate things out. I mean, I kind of did pick up a few other hobbies, to be honest. All kind of making related. I do a bit of 3D printing, and I do kind of a bit of messing around with fusion and kind of lasers and CNCs and stuff, which is fun, that I don't bring into it's not part of my business that I do for clients. But from the kind of the woodworking side of it, I think it's better, because I actually don't separate out the client job for my own job, because I take on jobs that I enjoy doing, if that makes sense. So mentally, for me, there's no difference between enjoying doing something that somebody else is going to have and doing something that
That's a luxury, though, Richard. That's a luxury that not a
It-
lot of
it-
people
it absolutely is.
not a lot of people enjoy because
A lot of the time, not all the time, because like today is the 31st of January. So here in the UK, if you are self-employed, you've got about 2 hours and 15 minutes if you haven't done your tax return, because the deadline is midnight tonight. I've done mine, and I hate doing it. Oh, who actually enjoys doing their taxes? Like accountants, probably.
My accountant.
But it's something. I mean, even if you hand it all over to an accountant, there's still stuff that you have to do throughout the year to make sure that information is there to hand over to an accountant.
Yep.
But not most. I can't really put a percentage on it, but most of the time, as Chris has already pointed out, I am very fortunate, and I'm aware of that.
See, but that's excuse me for interrupting you real quick, but that's the other side of the coin. You know, when people talk about owning their own business, you have your and I hate using this word, but your hobbyist. You know, your guy who makes
Me.
you know, the weekend warriors and stuff like that. The guy who goes in their shops and stuff like that. They can turn that into a lucrative business, but that's a one-on-one business. And I've tried to do that, and I've failed not failed horribly, because I don't believe in losses. I believe in learning. But I didn't do as well as I thought I should. So I wind up turning my business into a national company. And that has become better for me. So, you know, where he has his business, it's more of a one-on-one. So he gets to choose what he's doing.
Mhm.
I myself have nothing but customers that I don't know personally, and they're just buying stuff. And it's not like, oh, today I don't want to make a table. No, you're gonna make that table. You're definitely
yeah.
Once you said you're going to do a job, you know you've got to come through and do it. I mean that for me is where,
that's the
being
part
the size I am, I've got that personal one. I'm there physically in front of the client, discussing what they want and all the rest of it, rather than a sort of a, I don't want to say faceless corporation, but for me there is no disconnect between what I do
and that's absolutely great. But also you have to remember that if you're going to choose that part of the business doing one-on-one, then for Chris's question, there's always going to be a more personal benefit for it. There's always going to be that one-on-one. You get to choose. It's more of a fun thing to do. When you go into manufacturing and you go into, you know, other parts of business, you want to expand and get bigger and bigger and bigger. Then now you have to organize and separate and do this and do that.
And you may end up doing things that you don't enjoy as much, right? And so it becomes more of a business, right?
But you got to pick and choose your enjoyments and maximize that. But to follow up on your next question that you should have asked is yes. Just like this man right here, I picked up a couple of hobbies also because for different reasons, he had extra time because he's choosing what he's doing. For me, I learned how to be so organized in business and in life that I had some extra time and I was antsy. So it got me away from the business. It got me away from this. It was a way to separate myself so I can refresh.
So you found a head clearing space to go, and you found something to occupy that.
Exactly.
All right, I got two more questions, and I want Jake to chime in here because he's here for a reason today. Well, I mean,
Jake.
other than the fact that you're looking pretty right now, Jake, and you know, nice hat by the way.
I didn't even notice you were wearing a hat with that beautiful T-shirt on there, Jake.
Oh, that's oh jeez. Why are you sucking up to him? Anyway, Jay.
That's why Rick was in the top 10.
I guess maybe, yeah, and that's why I'm not. Thank you.
Checks in the post, Jake. Checks in the post.
All right, Jay, question to you, and then Richard, if you want to answer as well. Jay, do you wish that you had done what you're doing now earlier? Do you wish that you would have jumped in earlier, or did you do it when you were about ready to? Was the timing perfect for you to just go ahead and jump in both feet and do it, or do you wish that you had started earlier? And I know you've got limitations, so I mean, you know, we can avoid that. But I'm just saying, if you could have jumped in earlier, would you have?
No.
Okay, Richard, would you?
For me, at the time was right. It wasn't planned as possibly the way Jake is planning. It was always kind of in the back of my mind. I worked for a a global pharmaceutical company. So, lots of people, big place. I worked in an office environment. It started off, it was amazing. I then went to manufacturing, which I really, really loved. And then I had to go back to the office. And if anyone's ever done a secondment, I know, Chris, you're going to kind of keep me in, but this is valid. This is 100% valid to the question. I went back after a secondment. I'd had 3 months break from one department to another. And, if anyone's been on like maternity, paternity, or they flipped around, the time you're away, things change really, really a lot. That they change anyway, but you don't notice it when you're there, if that makes sense. So I went back to the department I was in that I didn't really enjoy when I was there previously. And it was a case of, I really want to go back and do what I was doing because I loved it. But the opportunity wasn't there. And I tried for 3 months to find a way to get back into the manufacturing sector of the company. And long story short, as you'll be glad to know, Chris, the opportunity was there, but it's only for 6 months and it might not happen. So best case scenario, I'm going to be back here, stood where I am in the same dilemma in 12 months time.
So that was your jumping off point, is what you're saying.
So, basically, it was when I found out that there was possibly a place to go where I wanted to be, but it was whatever happened, I was going to be stood in the same spot.
So you were
at the same 12 months. I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm jumping ship now. But
it was your own choice, and so because of your
100%.
Yeah. Okay. So you did it at the right time. Actually, you know what? I'm not even going to ask. The next question was, looking back, would you have taken a different approach than the one you did? And I guess I'll go ahead and ask that. I mean, Jay, because I know your answer to that's going to be no. Richard, would you? Well, wait a minute. Go ahead.
Let me say this. The reason why I say no to both is very, very easy. How many things have anybody has ever planned? Anything you ever 99%. It's went something different. And you might have gotten the final results. You might have gotten those final results, which is the benefit, which is the end goal, which is the end game. And it could have been anything, making a pie, doing whatever the hell it is you're doing. But at the end of the day, you wouldn't have been able to make that end goal being with the experience and the knowledge that you have 10 years ago. All right.
So it's a futile question. It's a futile question because it's like YouTube, and like we've talked about this on the show a million times about when you're starting out on YouTube, you're never going to start out making fantastic videos. You have to make videos in order to get better at making videos, and so it's kind of like the same thing.
It's like, a bit like the when's the best time to plant a tree question.
Yeah, exactly.
I would love to say yes. I wish I would have done this, 20 years ago and saved myself a world of trouble and world of headaches and all that. But then I wouldn't have been the same person. I would have probably did something dumber, smarter. Who the hell knows? But at the end of the day, the whole point of the matter is, would I have made the same decisions that I've made today? The answer is hell no. So it's really not about would I have done this sooner or would I have done this later. It's would have I done it? Because I could say, yeah, I would have done this 20 years ago, but then I would have started the first day, something else would have popped up and I would have changed course. And I would have been,
and you're happy with where you are right now.
Exactly. I'm truly, truly happy with where I'm at now, because I know that my past has given me so many things to be where I'm at now. So I sit back and I'm just like, I'm a national company. I thrive in crisis. I do very well when there's nothing, no crisis, knock on wood, when there's nothing happening. But when there is a pandemic, there is a crisis, there is
you have an explosion.
I have a tremendous explosion. And the only reason why is because of my past, it taught me that us as humans, we're pretty freaking stupid.
Nothing. You know what? I love you just because you just say it. You just say it.
Really think about it. We cause a lot of our own crap that we go through years later. So
yep,
something's gonna happen. Something's gonna, everything's gonna be peaceful, and then all of a sudden, it's gonna be, oh, who has the biggest schlong. Now we're gonna go to war. You know, it's like, come on. So that means business is gonna thrive. So if you have that mindset that's saying, you know what, you know, I'm gonna wait, or I'm gonna do this, or I'm not ready, then you shouldn't do it. Just jump in it, and it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. If it's not, step back and say, you know what, now wasn't the time. Let me continue working, gathering information, and then let me jump back in it, because this is what I truly want. This is what I truly believe I am. So that's
Gotcha.
it.
We've got more questions from Chris Murray, and also Dale popped in with a good one today as well. But I want to leave time for Jake here, because Jake, I mean, do you have anything that you wanted to get out, or anything that you've learned so far that you want to pass along, whether it's a question for Jay or Richard, or just something that you've learned that you want to pass on to other people? Because I'm going to bring you into this.
There's just I always talk about start a YouTube channel and just do it. Do that first video, get in there. But this is a bigger deal. I'm setting myself up financially by paying off every bill I have. And that's why I haven't quit yet. That's why there's a date there, is so I can pay off everything I have, and that way it's gonna be slow at first, so that I'm gonna eat. You know, that's my whole thing, is if I quit right now, I could make it with the not making as many videos as I should, because I'm at my day job all the time, and I'm already there. So I know if I put out more content and do this and teach more people what I'm doing, the affiliate marketing will grow and the channel will grow. But before I do that, I wanted to make sure that all of my debts are paid off. And that's where I'm doing. And most of the time you say, hey, don't start that YouTube channel. Don't wait till you get the right camera. Don't wait till you get the lighting. But I'm waiting till my money is right until I start this.
And that's exactly what you have to do. I don't get me wrong. I believe that everybody should just jump in with both feet head first, do what you got to do. But at the end of the day, if you have no plan, if you plan to fail, you fail to plan. And it goes, you know, it's stupid. You know what I mean? Like, if you have no plan to be your own business owner, then you're not going to run a successful business. You have to have some type of plan. This is not, you know, with information being as fast as it is, with the internet and everything is at the touch of a fingertip. You have to know. There's no excuse not to know. You have to know about
right.
You have to know about taxes. You have to know about quarterlies. You have to know about your bills. You have to plan these things out and know your algorithm and stuff like you have to know these things. If you don't, then maybe you should punch in, you know, the time card. Maybe that is for you. Maybe that is.
I think I sit somewhere in between the two of you, actually. I mean, I 100% wish I had more of an opportunity. I mean, I basically had a month, because I like, this is going to happen. I'm not going to be here in 12 months' time looking back going, should I have done this a year ago? So I sort of had a month to kind of fill the books with the clients, organise the work for when I finished one job. I mean, that could have happened to anyone in any job. Not the fact that, you know, hiring and firing can be a sudden death thing. You walk into work one day and by lunchtime you find out your whole department's been made redundant. That happened to me twice when I was working for that company. I'm sure other people out there, you know, without an option to do their own work afterwards. So there's that side of it. And the planning to go forward is absolutely 100%. You know, nobody wants to. If you've got a plan where you want to go, I want to start this business up. You know, any business needs a little bit of, you know, collateral, a bit of money in the bank to start off with. You know, cash flow, as I'm sure Jay will appreciate, cash flow is king. You know, to keep your business going. As soon as people stop paying you, things start to grind to a halt. So absolutely 100% agree with you there, Jake. Jay, from that sort of point of, you know, you've got to know taxes, you've got to know this. I'm not sure I 100% agree with that. I think you've got to know about taxes. But what you absolutely need to do is know that you have to find out that information. So, Jake, you don't need to know how to, you know, do tax returns for an incorporated LLC or whatever it is you're going to set up. What you need to know is where you can go to find someone to either tell you how to do it or do it for you.
Well,
I mean? If you know
you-
there's a problem, then you can know about you have to fix a problem in the future. Not necessarily plug in holes in the ship, but you know where the holes are likely to appear, sort of thing.
I'm gonna say that I agree with you, but I don't agree with you.
I thought that might be the case.
Because, this is no disrespect for you, because if you know who I am, I'm very blunt. But coming from my end, that is out of your freaking mind. Crazy. Because at the end of the day, there's so many people literally out there to just take your money. So
Yeah.
if you're going to spend your time trying to figure out who can do it for you, let's just say, we're talking about taxes, right? Who can do it for me? Who can do this? Who can do this? Who can do this? I need to do this. That way I can work on this. Yeah, you're right. Because I have an accountant. I have a lawyer. I have a couple of people that work for me that they take care of that part of the business. All right. Which is, thank God for that. But at the end of the day, if you have no clue what the hell they're talking about or what the hell they're even doing, like the basics, then you might as well just punch that five. Because at the end of the day, you have to know something, because they can tell you, well, you have to pay for this, you have to pay for this, you have to pay for this. And you're like, oh, okay, fine. That's just the way it goes. Come to find out, the guy's been lining his pocket with your money. You don't have
I mean, there's always going to be a certain degree of potential naivety and sort of like what's the word? People taking advantage of that. And that's that kind of relationship you build up in business.
When I say you have to know certain things, I don't mean that you have to know every single thing on this planet. What I mean is that you have to know the basics. That way you can get up and go do what you have to do.
Well, I think no, and I can only tell you this because I operated a side business, but it has nothing to do with the maker world from my 9-to-5 business, and I didn't want to say it was a part-time business because my side business actually made me more in a year than I would have made in 5 years doing what I was doing from 9 to 5. All right, so and I hired the first person I contacted when I decided to do this was an accountant, and the accountant, if you. And accountants are squirrely people, guys. So and I don't mean they're shady. I just mean they live in a different friggin' zone than we do. But they can help you set up the business. They can help you set up legally. They can help you set up and they know how all the hoops and things that you can jump through in order to start up a business. And so if you really don't have a clue, talk to an accountant, but don't stop learning there. Because you need to be able to go into your accountant and ask him intelligent questions like Jay was talking about. You don't need to know everything in the planet, like Richard was saying, but you should know enough to keep the accountant honest and know that your business is secure.
And that's kind of key to business in general, knowing enough. And
you have to know that information is at your fingertips. I mean, I'm sitting here, this phone. My phone is connected. My phone is leaning on my laptop. My laptop is connected to the phone. The phone, like, information is right here. So if you need to, go to your accountant, go to whoever, whatever the case may be, but do your Google research. I mean, how do you guys sit on a toilet and play freaking, video games? Like, let's be honest. That couple of minutes that you're sitting on the toilet, you can literally Google whatever it is you need to do. And when you go to the accountant, at least you're not sitting there, sounding like a babbling idiot.
Do you not use that time for editing your Instagram reels?
Huh?
Asking for a friend.
I YouTubed how to YouTube.
Look, how easy.
There you go.
Let me explain something to you also. If everybody, hopefully everybody has a friend. If you just ask them, hey, listen, what would you do? Even if they're more negative than positive, like, well, I wouldn't really do that. Just ask them why. Ask them why.
Ask questions.
Find out what the hell their fears are, whatever the case may be, to make sure that out of 20 fears they have, that one fear that you overlooked, you can go, oh, hold on, let me go back. Research that. Now you got something, so you don't have to be scared of that when it comes up. It's very simple. It's very, very simple. You have information at your fingertips. don't ever be scared to get into something because you don't know about it. That's
I'm-
pretty
I'm-
nowadays.
I get it. I'm going to run into something different, and I will get back to Chris Murray and Dale in a little bit, and we'll get because they've got some good questions too. But I wanted to make a point about how much pre-planning has to go into an adventure like this. I mean, Richard said he only had a month to get his act together, and Jay, you told me yours was a little bit further than that, but the thought occurs to me that the baseline here is what Jake referred to, is that before you go jump in with both feet, you kind of need to make sure that you're going to have a paycheck coming in the door, that so you can feed your face on Monday morning. I mean, so there's at least that amount of planning that needs to be done. And I also assume that you have to have a plan to it. I mean, and I'm thinking more along your lines of work, Jay, than I guess I am Richard's, but I think it both works. It works in either case. You have to know that you have an ample market out there that's ready to support you, and either use or buy the products that you produce. Either use your skill or, buy the product you have to offer. And if you have an idea, whether it's to batch out products or if you have an idea about how to extend a service, which would be more along Richard's line, and batching out products would be more along Jay's line, you've got to know that you have
An audience,
the clientele that's out there and ready to support you, and not just support you for a week. So I see a lot of folks, and I don't know, maybe I'm misconstruing their intentions, but I see a lot of folks trying to sell to the maker community. Nothing wrong with that. And the maker community loves each other, and they will help support you initially. But you are going to have to find a larger world than the maker community if you're going to make a living out of this. There is the whole wide world out there that you're going to need to tap into at some point in order to sustain a business.
this is what
That's actually a great segue, actually, Chris, because Mama Thompson's out in the chat. She said, "Proud of you, Jake. If you need a meal, I'll feed you." And she said, "Hi, guys."
but not
Oh,
for nothing, what I was trying to earlier when we wasn't live.
Uh-huh.
There's an audience there that wants to buy your stuff, but they don't know who the hell you are. You have to convince people that they need your stuff for whatever it is you're selling. Whatever it is, I don't give a damn if it's a spoon. They need your spoon. Your spoon is the best. They need everything that you sell. So your job, your 9 to freaking 9, because this is not a 9 to 5 anymore. Your job, your life depends on you selling that spoon. Your spoon can be the crappiest spoon on the planet. It could not even pick up a thimble of water. It doesn't matter. You have to sell that spoon. That way you can eat. So you have to find the audience. You have to put in that work. And then that is where the hustle comes in at. Because after you sell that first spoon, then what?
That's funny, because the first comment that I got, because I don't think I mentioned this to the people that were, I think we talked about this prior to going on the air, that I went to a business forum where I knew that this kind of question was going to be asked. And it wasn't a maker, but I had a list of things that people that have done what Jay has done and what Richard has done, and there was somebody in there going, "What do I need to know in order to get started?" And that's the question I wanted to find the responses to. And I researched some of the respondents to make sure they weren't, people that were just puffing out smoke, and these were actually successful people answering these questions. And I found the following. And the very first one that came up, Jay, was learn more about marketing.
Of course, marketing sells. Marketing actually has to do with how you think.
Yeah.
You ever just all of a sudden drive, or you're on the toilet, or you're taking out whatever, and all of a sudden a song pops in your head and you're like, I haven't heard this song in 20 years. That's marketing. That you think, what you wear, what you do, your diet, everything around you, what you look on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, everything about you is marketing. The favorite color you have, marketing. Your favorite food, marketing. Your favorite mama's pizza is it's the best. My mother makes it great. It's tomato sauce, flatbread,
and cheese.
That's what it is. Now, don't get me wrong. New York pizza is the best pizza. But besides that, what the hell is different besides this pizza and this pizza? There's really, really nothing. If you get down to the core, there's nothing really different. So you have to understand marketing. If you understand marketing, you can sell a used toilet paper.
Yeah. Yeah, you can sell sand to the Sahara Desert. Exactly. Yeah, and that's important. All right, let's get back to the questions real quick. Unless somebody else has something. Richard, do you want to jump in with something, or you got anything?
No, I'm good. I'm good. You crack on. I'm looking forward to. I think it was Dale's question, but it might have been Chris.
Yeah, because Dale's is the kicker. I'll leave him for last. Chris Murray asks, and Jake, this applies to you too. I mean, and Richard, when was the moment you thought I can do this, or was it more along the lines of a part-time gig you had going on that was already paying the bills, so it wasn't a big jump? What was the point in time where you said, I can do this?
That's easy.
Go.
Since the beginning, before I started.
Okay.
There's not a day in this world that I ever think I can't do something. And if I literally then I'll figure out a way.
Well, it's kind of along the lines of how long were you a woodworker before you decided to jump into it? And you just said,
I don't know a damn thing about a lot of stuff. I'm sure I can do it.
Give me time.
I believe myself. I believe in myself 100%. And if anything, if I fail in something, I didn't fail. I just didn't know everything about it. So go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't believe in ever not believing in yourself. If you're gonna do something, just do it because you believe in yourself.
You know who shares that opinion? And I don't know if you saw his live stream yesterday that he did, but he's mentioned this ever since I've known the guy. Andy Berkey's the same way, and
Andy.
And no, he does. He's the same because he got into working on church things just because he needed the job. And somebody said, "Well, can you do this?" And he looked at him and dead in the face and said, "Yep, sure can."
Oh, that was the carving. He didn't know anything about it.
Not a problem. He didn't know anything about gold leafing either. But can you do it? Yep, sure can.
That's the whole point. If you're gonna sit there and not believe in yourself in something, I mean, look, think about it. Think about it. At the end of the day, whoever has kids, you think that you can do it. You may not. There's times that you're like, yo, what the hell did I get myself into? But you're not gonna freaking quit. I mean, if you quit, you're a piece of. But anyways, you're gonna continue going. There's things that you're gonna do.
Well, if you quit, you weren't cut out to do it in the first place. So.
I'll give you a saying, and then I'll let whoever answer it. Think about it like this, Chris. You got kids.
Yeah.
How long did it take? And I need this quick, fast. How long did it take for you to give up on teaching him how to walk?
Never.
Exactly. So why the hell do you give up on yourself so quick?
Right.
Just believe in yourself and don't quit on yourself. Just keep going. Just keep going and push and push and push. And if you get some resistance, find a back door. Go under the door. Go around. Go over the building. Maybe that's not the building for you. Go to the next building. They got free gold.
I like that.
Because if you believe in yourself, then who gives a damn who doesn't believe in you? They're not you. Go do what you got to do. If you believe that you can open a business and you can be successful, your success depends on you. So if you start off with a half a cup of juice, it's never going to turn into anything. Overflow that son of a gun and then keep it. Let's go. Let's rock and roll. Don't stop giving up on yourself. Don't sit here. I believed when I made my first check. Then you never believed in yourself. Why the hell did you start? Just do it.
It's called hustle.
So mine's a little bit different. I started this just as a hobby, as fun. So I was thinking about doing it, like pretty seriously thinking about doing it before Maker Central.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a confident guy, and I don't fail a lot at jobs and things like that. But this is a whole new world. I'm new to the community. I'm new to the YouTube. I'm new to all this stuff. So I did have self-doubt until I went to Maker Central.
No, that's bullshit.
Go ahead, Jay.
Sorry,
Jay, leave him alone, Jay. Leave him alone, Jay. Let him finish.
No, I like you, but that's bullshit. You actually believed in yourself before that. You just needed a swift kick in the ass.
If that's how you want to say it.
Oh, I'm good. Trust me. But you believed in yourself. Yes, you have doubt. Everybody has doubt. Don't think there's no doubt. But at the end of the day, that doubt's not going to overcome you. You actually believed yourself. You just needed a nice steel toe to the ass crack. That's all you needed.
and I got it. And I got it.
You're like, you know what? That doubt, which is still there, it's always going to be there. That doubt's not going to control you. Now you shifted it to, this is going to happen. That's it. But you always believed in yourself, because if you didn't believe yourself, you wouldn't even be alive.
Well, you wouldn't be doing it. Oh, you wouldn't be doing it.
I get that. Right. But when I went to Maker Central, I said, that guy can do it. That guy can do it. And then you have some people talk to you, and then you go, man, they confirm what you're thinking. I do belong in this crowd. I can do this. They did it. And why not me? So that for me, that was, they're looking for a turning point. What, like, when did you decide, or whenever like that? That was when I already knew, but then I really knew.
There is no such thing. You always knew. You always knew. Because at the end of the day, that's the whole point. That's the whole point. You always knew. Because if you didn't believe in yourself, you wouldn't be anything. You wouldn't be on here. You would have just hung it up. See you later. But at the end of the day, you have to realize everybody believes in themselves. They believe in something about themselves. They look at themselves in the mirror and they go, today's the day. Whatever it is that made them go that extra mile to actually do it, they would have never even been there if they never believed they could do something in the first place.
Let me ask Jamie a question. Jamie.
Oh, geez.
I don't have a mirror.
No. And I'm not asking. Not even going to ask you to do that. But I'm trying to get to the point of what Jay and what Jake are both talking about here. But let me ask you a question. Is there anything? And this, Jamie, this is serious, so no joking around. Is there anything in your life that you have set your mind to that you have been unable to do?
Yes.
What's that?
Unfortunately, I'm going to be talking about scroll saws, so I apologise in advance. So, the very first time I used spiral blades, I could not use spiral blades at all.
No,
I forced myself to use.
I get it. That's not the premise of my question. My premise of the question was, have you ever set your mind to something? I'm going to learn how to use the spiral blade and been unable to use it ever.
Yep, the spiral blade. I never got off that saw until I was able to use them, and I didn't stop using it. I never touched a straight blade again.
Well, you answered.
I was able to use it.
Jamie, he's saying is this. Chris, relax. I speak stupid. Listen.
we noticed.
All right. So listen. What I'm saying is this. Have you ever tried to use something? You got to speak slow, Chris. Have you ever tried to use something and failed and backed off of it completely? Not continue to push yourself.
No.
There goes your
There's a language barrier, and we're all speaking the same language.
Yeah. So if Rich had lost it, I would have got it.
The point that Jay was making, that I was trying to translate and kind of give, I don't know, my own spiel to, was that anybody who's out here in the chat, or anybody out who is listening, if they can honestly say they have put their mind to something and was determined to make it work, and they have failed, and then I will kiss your ass. I will, because I'm telling you right now,
given up on anything.
There is nothing, if you want it bad enough, that you can't do.
Yeah, it's not. Listen, anything, and I know there's going to be like, well, I tried to bake a cake and I failed. Well,
bake another one.
That is absolutely amazing. Okay, you tried, but that doesn't mean you can't do it, because you just gave up. You gave up. Let's just say in the cards, there's 52 cards. You stopped at 3. What the hell are you talking about? You failed. You didn't fail. You stopped. You quit. That's the real answer. You quit on yourself.
I think in the context of owning or running or starting a business, there's the money aspect of it, which actually at some point has to
that absolutely
take over from, going past the 3rd card to the 51st, because you're bankrupt and your house is gone and you've got no car and the wife's thrown you out and you're there on the pavement with a carrier bag and an old sandwich. So from that side of point, I completely agree with that. But from a practical sense, I think you've got to remember that just because you are a good cook does not mean you can run a restaurant.
No, it means you're
And
a good.
in
It means
the
you're a good
same,
cook.
the
It means you're a good
same,
cook. Yeah,
exactly. And in the same aspect, because you're a good woodworker, does not mean to say you can run a woodworking business or be a site contractor or whatever.
But what it doesn't say is that you can't learn how to be.
Absolutely. But and I think that's where a lot of businesses fail, not just woodworking, but also restaurants. You know, you can learn to be a good business person, but can you learn that quick enough before the money runs out?
Technically you can. This is what I'm trying to say. Technically you can, because let's just say you are that good cook, right? And you try to run a business, let's just say, and you're cooking. People are not coming to you, whatever the case may be. Nobody likes your freaking cooking because you cook a certain style and nobody in your area eats that style. Okay, fine. So the money runs out, whatever, you got to punch a clock. You got to go to your 9 to 5. Okay, fine. That doesn't mean that you can no longer do that. You had to pause it. You had to pause. You had to push the pause button. When you get yourself back on your feet, during that time that it took for you to get back on your feet,
learn from your mistakes.
Do your research. What did I learn? Find out everything, how you failed. And then after that, you attack it again. And if it happens 27, 30, 50, 100 times, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, that's all knowledge. Now you can sit there and go, okay, I have all this knowledge. I want to run a restaurant business. Now all of a sudden, you become a consultant to 20 different.
Now Jay's talking. Talking my world.
That's totally getting into the marketing thing.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to be really. If you come to me to market my restaurant, having been the owner of 20 failed restaurants, you're going to be hard pushed to win my business.
But I'm sure if I come to you with that,
nope. I tell you, Richard, that's a lie, because the first time somebody who's failed 30 times comes to your business and tells you something you don't know, you're going to listen.
Right now, if I was to come to you with that exact scenario, with my hustle and my endurance, you're going to be like, you know what? I need to give this guy Jay a check.
Yeah, I need to find out what he knows, because he apparently knows at least one or two things more than I do. Anyway, last question. Yeah, let's get this over and done with, because we're running short on time and we didn't even clear half of what I wanted to clear today. This could go on forever. And
Jake's sitting there going, I don't want to run a business now. It's all very scary.
No, not at all. Jake, and I guess Jake and Richard. This question applies to you, so I'll go to Jake first. Jay, this doesn't apply to you because I know that you weren't part of this. Dale's question is this, Jake: is there anything that you will miss from being a part of a bigger corporation or organization? Is there anything from? And Richard, the answer to the question for you will be: is there anything that you now miss? So first, from Jake, can you foresee anything that you will miss from your job now if you start your own business, and say goodbye to that?
Absolutely. The first thing I do every morning is everybody, not with COVID, we go in a couple different spots now, but we all gather up and we all hang out before we get assigned to wherever we're going to go that day. And it's like a party every morning. We're making fun of each other and we don't hold back any punches. It's like a boys club and girls club, but no one gets their feelings hurt. It's a pretty good time in the mornings before we actually start work, and I will definitely miss that.
Richard, anything that you do miss from what you once did?
I mean, I guess there's the sort of the usual things. I mean, I miss sitting in traffic for an hour and a half, screaming at the cars in front for not moving on the way before I even get to work. I miss getting up really early in the morning when it's dark and the roads are icy. I kind of miss, a bit like Jake, that, you know, when you have those kind of team meetings, I really miss when people who basically don't know what they're talking about stand up for an hour to tell you what they haven't done and what they aren't going to do for the next week.
Christ, you're negative as hell.
Yeah, I mean, literally, I mean, Absolutely. When I was in my previous job, I was there. I started off enjoying it. I stayed because I had a roof and a baby, and that was it. It was purely for the money. It was survival. I worked to live, and that was it. Circumstances changed, certain things changed. It kind of opened doors, and no, totally do not miss working with people who would stab you in the front, let alone the back. It was just a toxic environment. So that I don't miss, honestly. But what I do miss, and I think possibly Jake would attest to this, or it's probably something you've thought about. I miss knowing every single month my bank balance is going to rise by a fixed amount. Whatever happens, whether I'm sick, whether I don't do the work, whether, it's just a set paycheck, regular as clockwork. Because there is a certain amount of
security,
even if it's only short or mid-term security. That is something which on occasions I've gone, oh, do you know what, that I really like. I miss not having to do a tax return.
Well, that's actually what we're throwing out there, though, but today, because when you start your own business, you're actually throwing out you're throwing away that security blanket, aren't you?
You are, in a way, but also on the side of it. I mean, and actually, there's a really good question come in the comments, which will be relevant. That kind of anonymous accountability, if that's even a thing. Like, you go in, you do your job, you've done your job, you go home. That's a sort of an anonymous. That's kind of a relief. You clock out.
I've never enjoyed being a number, but I've never. But I can see how people would like to walk away from their job and know that it's somebody above them's problem and not yours. And so you can walk home with a clear head and not have that issue that you left at work be your issue. I mean, that's kind of nice. I mean, I suppose. But honestly, when I walked away, because we have to wrap this up, we're running low on time. When I walked away, and I'm like Jake, one thing I missed was people, the people I worked with, because I worked with some amazing people. And so when I walked away from it, that was the first thing that hit me, is that I no longer had that morning meeting like Jake was talking about with the people. I mean, because that's and that was hard, because I was in the business I was in for as long as I was in it because of the people. Because the work, I didn't really care about the work anymore. I mean, there was a point in time where that was a real, I need to go and get that, but by the time I was done with the work. It was the people I enjoyed. So, anyway, good show, guys. I mean, a lot of information. Jay, thank you for your input. And Jake, thank you for yours. But I guess we've got time to let Jamie sing. I mean,
do we have to? I was trying to drag it out, so we kind of didn't.
Well, we can drag it out some more then, because no, Jamie actually has some good shout outs today, so we ought to go ahead and do that for Jamie. I don't want to cut Jamie out of the loop because
I totally
make me feel bad. Wait. I am very rude because we asked Jake here.
This is why you're not in the top 10, Chris.
I know that's fine, because I'm disjointed and I'm all over the place, and I apologize. But Jake, and/or Jay, is there anything else that you wanted to say today before we wrap this whole thing up? I mean, is there anything that you wanted, because you guys came here to help us out today, but in the same time, hopefully help yourselves out and help the people out who are listening. So is there anything else that you want to say before we move on?
I'll let him go first.
If there's anybody in my situation that is doing social media and things like that, before the pandemic hit, I was making enough to quit that day. And then the pandemic hit and everything went and hit the dirt. So I've kind of adjusted from there, and whatever went down here, I've found somewhere else to go up. So if you're going to do what I'm doing, hit it from 10 different angles. Don't just depend on one thing.
Diversify.
Yep.
Jay?
Actually, what I was going to say is going to piggyback off of what he's saying. My business, for those who know, I mass produce, wood stuff. But I also make sure that tomorrow, if half the world drops off this freaking planet, I'm still gonna have an income. So don't sit there and put all your eggs in one basket. But at the end of the day, make sure you put your eggs in a basket at least. Believe in yourself. Don't sit there and be like, I don't know if I can do this. Because the amount of time that you're sitting there, and this is for everything, if you want to start a business or not, you want to start a YouTube channel, you want to do anything. You want to freaking go across the street to the store.
Bake that cake. Yeah, whatever.
I don't know if I should, I don't know. But the amount of time that you're wasting is literally never going to come back to you. So you might as well stop bull crapping your damn self and just get up and go do it. It doesn't hurt you. But if you're going to sit there and say, what happens if this happens? What happens? What am I going to do about this? Well, then, maybe this is not for you. Maybe punching a clock is all right, because there's nothing wrong with punching a clock.
Not at all. Not at all.
People that are extremely happy by just punching a clock and having that security blanket and having certain things, they know that at 5 o'clock, they're done. They don't have to worry about stuff. I'm up late as hell almost every night, planning and cutting and doing and doing this and taking care of orders and writing emails I'm up early to late. I get usually about 3, 4, maximum 5 hours of sleep per day.
You know, that's funny that you say that, because, and we'll end it with this if you don't mind, because I get tickled by the people that I see post on social media, different platforms, where they go, I want to start my own business and be my own boss, and I'm done with this crap, and I don't need to work these 14 hours, and what the hell is all, and they get all upset about, and they don't have a clue that when it's your business, if you think that 12 hours a day is bad, brother, you got an experience coming, because you're going to be doing 18-hour days. It's like, I hate to tell you this.
And you have to understand something from the beginning. Stop listening to social media in general.
Yeah.
Because they're only going to show you the good parts. They're never going to show you when they're cutting that board that it cut wrong. The measurement was off 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch, or whatever the case. It don't fit no more. Now you got to go buy new boards. They show you the end result. So believe in yourself. Stop sitting there doubting yourself and just do what you have to do.
Knock and roll.
Even when on social media they are, because I don't know if everyone's noticed, it's kind of a bit fashionable for the last 6 months to kind of, show your mistakes and be real and all the rest of it. When people are showing the mistakes, that's the
reason
little
to Chris
ones.
to get on Instagram.
They're
people on social media talking about show your mistakes. They ain't showing you their real mistakes.
yeah.
And believe, it's cool to show you the mistakes.
Oh, because everybody's trying to create an image, man. I mean, that's all it's all about. That's yeah, I hear
They're
you.
still choosing it. They're like, you know what? I'm not going to show you this mistake. I'll show you this one, because this mistake is going to make me look like a piece of crap. So let me.
There you go.
Yeah. One-handed Jamie. Jamie, all right, buddy. Your turn. Let's go. Let's do this thing.
Well, I'll wait for your shout out to the part 2 of it, but the first part will be obviously Jamie's page.
Oh,
so the only part is really I've got a premiere in 27 minutes, and Caitlin is on at 15 minutes after me.
Nope, she's not. She's changed it. She's on a half an hour after.
Oh, she's changed it. She's changed it. Is she? Oh, my bad. Well done, Chris, for keeping an eye out for that. So my shout out this week goes to Hodgepodge Woodworks. He made a video called "Rock You Like a Hurricane Bowl," and it's pretty damn awesome. So yeah, go and check out Hodgepodge Woodworks.
Jake, we don't expect you to have shout outs, and actually we don't have time for them anyway. So look at Jake. Look at Jake. Jake's like, well, okay, thank you, Chris. You're such a
I had one lined up, man.
All right, well, then go for it. Go for it.
Dale from Maple Tree Studios.
That's my boy. All right.
And I don't even like watching Scroll Saw stuff, but I watch his live, and the conversation was good. The video was good. The project was good. It was easy to watch. Good job, Dale.
Project was awesome. He did that. He did that in 1 hour.
That was
Dale,
amazing.
You're the man. Dale from Maple Tree Studios. If you guys aren't familiar, go get out from under that rock. Anyway, and Richard, I don't think you have one, do you?
I kind of do. I kind of don't. It's a channel. It's our mate Ed that we're going to be talking to. So I don't know if that kind of goes in with what we're talking about next week in the shout outs, or whether we want to kind of talk about.
Yeah. Well, when we hang on to that one then, because we keep that a secret.
Just for our live listeners.
Just for our live listeners later. My shout out goes to Carl and Jamie. Carl Jacobson, Mr. Jamie Page. Once again, well done on the virtual craft fair yesterday, on Saturday. I mean, honestly, guys, I'm not blowing sunshine. Yesterday's virtual craft fair may be the best one I've seen yet. It was probably the most diverse as far as skills being presented that I've seen in the past. I mean, you had glass blowing, you had Berkey doing Berkey stuff.
Berkey stuff.
You had
It's a whole new genre, isn't it?
You had Heidi doing pottery, you had Jake doing resin. I mean, really, and you had Anarchist over doing turning, and Jamie, you did turning as well. But I mean, really well put together, and you guys had to coordinate that. So thank you for that. I mean, just wanted to give you your props. You deserve it. You deserve it.
No worries. No worries.
Such a humble beast.
The second part of Jamie's page is
that's twice. That was uncalled for, dude.
Sneaky.
The second part is it will be on again in March. I spoke to Carl about it. We've already got the vast majority of the spots filled up. We kind of know we're going to be sending invites out to fill up the rest of the show. So yeah, it's going to be on again in March. And obviously, on behalf of Carl, myself, thanks to everyone that participated in it. So if anyone wants to find out more information on it, you go to virtuallycrafty.com. If you want to participate in it in future, doesn't matter what you make, how many subscribers you've got, or whatever, contact myself or Carl, and we'll get you down on the list for potential, or not potential, we will get you down on the list for upcoming events.
Awesome. All right, Jay, if anybody wants to get in touch with you and bend your ear about our topic today, where can they get in touch with you at?
Easiest one is my Instagram. That's the easiest one, because Facebook, I'm barely on.
Okay, well, what's your Instagram?
Jae Rivera, Rivera 360.
So at Jae Rivera 360.
Easy.
All right, what about you, Jake, if they want to bend your ear?
Instagram, Jake_Thompson670. Or just start typing in Northside Custom Crafts, and it'll take you right there.
You guys are stars. Thank you. I appreciate it coming on today. That was nice.
No problem.
Don't ask him the difference between pressure pot and vacuum chamber, though, for crying out loud.
No, Jake has a lot of good information about that, but we're not going to go into that right now. Just, Jake, I admire you because Jake's a smart man. All right, Richard, all yours, buddy.
Hello, Jake. Yeah, I am a smart man.
Yeah, I am. I'm
absolutely. Yeah.
No worries, mate. No worries.
You can love me more. You can love me more. I don't mind. Bring it on.
Awesome. Well, talking of awesome, we've obviously got our live audience who are awesome, and because some of them are still actually here. If you're not, then we'll set Jake on you for next time. So until then, and honestly, if you're listening live or even in like future world, we have got an awesome show lined up for next week. Fingers crossed, we've got another guest on. If you have anything to do with kind of video marketing or YouTube or anything like that, then you will want to check out next week's show. So yeah, until then, you have a good week.
Have a great week, everybody.
Take it easy, everybody.
Y'all be good.
Awesome.